You can start.
Hello, welcome to the first episode of our new podcast. I'm here with Daniel Davis, and we are recording this podcast called Time Under Tension. So today, as the first episode, we just kind of want to take some time to introduce ourselves and go over the intention behind this podcast and what we hope to accomplish. I think we both kind of know that God takes the reins when we set a goal, but if we take the first step, he'll often deliver in ways that we don't always anticipate. So even though we set an intention for this, I'm excited to see where it's going to go from here. So we thought we'd start by introducing ourselves. Dee, you can go first.
Oh, all right. I'm Dee. I am from Bloomington, Illinois, and a little bit of background on me. I was a athlete, played volleyball at University of Illinois, and then from there, I moved on to go to graduate school and pursue a career in coaching, which landed me here in Davidson, North Carolina. I currently am the assistant women's volleyball coach for Davidson College and am absolutely loving it, feeling like this is absolutely where God has called me to be. And with that, really what I'm passionate about is helping others see themselves as if God was holding the mirror. And with that, my passion really lies in being a lighthouse for others and kind of breaking down maybe some perceived worldviews or perceived expectations they put on themselves of perfectionism, people in general just seeing that they can be whatever and whoever they want to be, and helping others kind of be able to understand their superpowers. That's my passion.
Awesome. My name is Olivia Gravengaard, and I am from Indiana, then moved to Texas, and now I'm also in North Carolina. I went to school in Nashville and became a nurse and worked in a couple different settings in the hospital for a few years. In 2020, I left the hospital to become a health and fitness coach full time. I'm also a professional bodybuilder, so the coaching went in line with that. And I've been doing that full time since. So with that, I mean, both with nursing and with coaching, I was able to identify that my passion is pretty similar. I really want to empower others to be able to live their fullest life. And I like to be an advocate for others with that. And I really am just passionate about others being passionate so that they're doing what they love and that they believe that they can. And I'm excited to have an opportunity to use a platform like this to kind of work through some stereotypes or misconceptions people might have about what they're able to accomplish or what they're able to pursue in life based on limitations that have been placed on them throughout their life, and that they may still be holding on to and not even realize. So that kind of moves us into our intention for this podcast. So we went through some names, and there's a lot of different concepts that we really like to kind of clarify the term of what it means to go through challenges and to come out stronger. And the name that we settled on was Time Under Tension. So do you want to walk us through what that means?
Yeah, for sure. I think you spoke really clarified kind of what time under tension, the significance of that by discussing limitations that others may see, that they have and not know, maybe that those limitations or those constraints that they may feel are actually that tension, that time in that tension can really be that most prime opportunity for growth. And really what time under tension, the meaning of that, or the intention of time under tension, is that when you are experiencing challenges or you're in difficult circumstances and you feel like there's so much weight or time or tension that you're under, the time that you are in that space, really it's about that it doesn't need to be a situation where you feel crushed. It's more about how much pressure you're applying back. And when you think about lifting or weight, strength and conditioning, really what happens is the time that you're under the tension of the weight is really when you are getting the reps that apply the most growth to your muscles. And so with that analogy, it's very similar in life. And I think what we're hoping to get out of this is that we're opening the door for conversation in a way that breaks down a lot of walls or boxes that you may think that you are in, that others may have put you in, that you didn't realize you have the power within yourself to get out of. And I think really that time under tension can also, speak to some of the stereotypes that are preventing us from engaging in meaningful conversation. And I just think when we're viewing external circumstances and letting those control us, that's when we can maybe get in a little bit of trouble. And so understanding that time under the tension of the external circumstances doesn't mean we need to identify with them. We can identify as who we are and see where we can really create the biggest amount of growth in that space.
That's great. And I love that analogy because I am in bodybuilding. So that's something that I think about a lot from a physical growth perspective. But another thing I like about the sport in general is that you don't really, besides the gym, besides the equipment, you don't really need anything besides yourself. It's just your body lifting something and being able to tolerate that time. And I think for me, that also is just metaphorical of how when we go through things in life, we really have everything that we need. It's just our ability to withstand that tension and come out stronger. And I think when you realize that those times that are so challenging are the times in which you experience the most growth and are being prepared for then your next step, your next season, maybe even your next opportunity, you can become so much more grateful for the challenges that you've gone through because you understand that they're like your prerequisite to the next level. So as we discuss this time under tension and what that might look like, we're going to talk about difficult things from our own experiences individually and things that we learn along the way. So we'll talk about, we've already talked about God in this, but we both have strong relationships with God. And so that is something that will tie in. But I think spirituality in general is definitely a topic that we'll be discussing. Sexuality as well, personal growth. There's going to be like a wide array of topics around this. And we're going to kind of let our own lives and the things that we're learning and the things presented to us guide the topics for this. And of course, if there are any requests for topics, we would be happy to go over that and answer questions as well. With that down the line, we may be including some guests, but for right now, we're just going to start with the two of us discussing and then kind of see where it grows from there. Did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, I think that was great. I think you summed it up really nicely. I'm just excited to start talking about these topics, and whatever anybody wants to hear about, I think it just provides a very safe place and new perspective and maybe some just new views to potentially consider when discussing some topics that may seem like they are in a box.
Awesome. I'm really excited to see where this goes. So you can stay tuned here, that you can watch this on YouTube. We'll have this uploaded on Apple Podcasts as well. And I will share our Instagrams and YouTube contacts in the content box below. So you can follow us there and stay tuned for future episodes. Our next episodes will be kind of a twofer. So we'll each go through and have our own, going kind of over our story and some just general things that we've learned through that to kind of set the foundation for lessons and learnings from there on out. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, please send them our way. You can contact us through any of the options below. I am Olivia Gravengaard,
Dee.
and we will talk to you next time on Time Under Tension.